We are holding it down with a whole lot of baseballs. We've got all 30 teams in action on this Wednesday. We're going to try to get you guys as many picks and winners here in this segment. And coming up after myself, if you're listening live to this fine program, you're going to get a replay of Cashing Out. Meanwhile, if you're listening to the replay, 4 o'clock a.m. Pacific, 7 o'clock a.m. Eastern, it is VSiN by the Books, Jensen Lewis, along with Dave Ross. They're going to be joined by one of our favorites, Wes Reynolds, who always does a great job on the golf front. He's going to be revealing his golf picks for this week. They've got a good, clean show. You've got a numbers game with Gil Alexander that follows that, and then Money Moves with Stormy Bonantoni and company. It's going to be a great day, and my job is very clear now to be able to get you to that great Wednesday slate cleanly, hopefully with a little bit more money in pocket. And how about if we do dive in on these games that we've got on this Baseball Wednesday? First things first, we have to address this game, as we have been seeing this team be very, very good to the under, and I'm in on another under with them. 921, 922. It is the Tampa Bay Rays on the road against the Kansas City Royals. Michael Wacha is on the bump for the Royals, and Drew Rasmussen is on the bump for the Rays. And the Rays say hip hip hoorays to being about a minus 120 to a minus 125 favorite. They neighbored about plus 104 to plus 110 is the number on the Royals, with a total in most places at a 9. Seeing a few 8.5s with some very heavy juicy under, but mostly seeing 9. The Royals totals this year have just been set way too high. Now, with Kansas City, it is a little bit warmer right now, and the wind was blowing out a tad on Tuesday, but even with that, they scored one more run than Greg Peterson. And Greg Peterson is not an MLB team. That's not great, to say the least. And for the Kansas City Royals, it's just a case where you need more out of Bobby Witt Jr. Like for a mere mortal, Bobby Witt Jr. hitting north of 275, being able to give you 10 home runs and 20 stolen bases, that's good, but they need more out of him. Vinny Pasquantino has been able to give you 11 homers. He's hitting north of 265, but you just don't have a lot of power on this team. If you look at things from a home runs on a per at-bat perspective, this has been a bottom 5 team in all of baseball, who's averaging 2.9 runs per game at home. 2.9. Dead stinking last in the big leagues. And here's the reason why they're averaging so few runs per game at home. What percentage of at-bats do you think that the Royals are hitting a home run in? 0.9% of their at-bats at home result in a home run. That's fewer than 1 in 100 at-bats are right now yielding a home run. Like, that is ridiculous. And it's not like this is some sort of small sample size where it's like, oh, it's 10 games, it's even 15 games. No, we are at June 25th for this game, and they are at less than 1 in 100 at-bats at home, yielding a home run. Yeah, that's rough to say the least. Now, what's been solved for the Royals has been the bullpen. You've got Lucas Erceg, Carlos Estevez, two really good guys in the back half of the bullpen. Steven Cruz has been able to give you sub-3 ERA. You've gotten some good innings as well out of some of these mix and match guys. Whenever Jonathan Boland's been out there, he's been solid. Daniel Lynch. So, I mean, they've been solid, and you got a Tampa Bay Rays team that unfortunately outguns them. For this Royals team, top 4 team in the big leagues in terms of bullpen ERA. These guys like Garrett Clevenger, Eric Orze, Pete Fairbanks, Manuel Rodriguez, they're all giving you a sub-3 ERA. Now, they've been without Hunter Biggie for quite a while, but hasn't affected them one bit. And for the Rays, all of a sudden, they've really been able to rise up with regards to their offense. This is now a top 10 team with regards to runs per game, and they are averaging about 5 runs per game on the road. You've got a pair of guys in Brandon Lau, Junior Caminero, combining for 33 home runs this year. Both guys hitting above a 250. You've had Jonathan Aranda give you north of 4 on base, still leaving a little bit of something to be desired in the bottom of the fold. These guys like Cameron Misner, the entirety of the catcher spot, to recognize that Danny Jansen was able to go deep on Tuesday, but need a little bit more there. What I think is interesting about Jared Calabreo is that he's hitting only about a 225 to a 230. 29 stolen bases this year, though. So the Rays have been doing a nice job being able to play some small ball there. I do think that with the Rays, they're also going to get a great start out of Drew Rasmussen, only giving you about 7.5 strikeouts per 9 innings, but is really doing a good job of not hurting himself. 2 walks and less than a home run allowed per 9 innings, while Michael Wacha is doing a great job of inducing soft contact. At his advanced age, not getting a lot of strikeouts, fewer than 7 punch-outs per 9 innings, but he's also only giving up 0.9 home runs and 2.3 walks per 9 innings as well. Another game where, even though it's getting a little bit warm out there in Kansas City and wind might be blowing out a little bit, that this total just feels like it's set way too high. I need to see it to believe it from this Kansas City Royals offense, and they have not shown it all season long. So, circumstance where I'm taking the sign under, and with the Rays race, I'd be willing to go up to about a minus 128 on that money line. And what we're always willing to do is to take a look at our best bets here at VSiN, and they're all powered by GBank. GBank is introducing the $500 trifecta. That's where GBank, along with First Bet and VSiN, they come together. As all you need to do is open up a GBank Visa signature card, and in the first 90 days, just be able to deposit and play through $1,000 over at First Bet to trigger this $500 trifecta. You'll receive $200 in cashback rewards on your GBank Visa signature card, and First Bet will give you a $100 deposit match. VSiN completes the trifecta by giving you a free VSiN Pro subscription through October 31st. That is a $200 value, and that's a $500 trifecta from GBank, First Bet, along with VSiN. Head on over to vsin.com/GBank to be able to apply, vsin.com/GBank. This is a one-time promotional offer that is limited to customers opening up a new account in response to this offer and will not apply to requests to convert existing accounts. Terms and conditions, they do indeed apply. As we've got ourselves a great slate of baseball, let's run down some of the things that I took a look at and put into my VSiN article, which you're able to find on vsin.com, part of being a VSiN Pro subscriber. And this is a game that I think is very intriguing between the Seattle Mariners and the Minnesota Twins. Twins are right now minus 122 to minus 125 favorites against the Seattle Mariners, despite being 1-10 in their last 11 games. And George Kirby is all of a sudden finding it for Seattle. The total on this game is 8. I do like this total over because I do think that George Kirby might experience a little bit of, shall we say, shakiness in this game, as Byron Buxton is giving you 17 home runs for Minnesota. And Minnesota's losing streak is not necessarily due to the offense. Like Trevor Larnach is just giving you a double-figure amount of homers. Carlos Correa is starting to round into form as well. If you had a guy like a Willie Castro give you a 360 on base, here's why the Minnesota Twins are struggling so much. The bullpen. It has went straight down the toilet bowl. If you look ever since May 1st, they are currently posting up north of a 5 ERA in that bullpen. Now, the top guys are still the top guys. Yohan Duran, Danny Kalum, Louis Varland are giving you a sub 3.25 ERA, but the likes of Griffin Jacks, these random long relievers that they've been trotting out there have just been absolutely awful. And then you got for Seattle, Matt Brash, Gabe Spire, Andres Munoz, all give you a sub 2.75 ERA. Big dumper Cal Raleigh. He's currently on pace for 66 home runs this season. J.P. Crawford is moving line, giving you north of a 4 base. Rowdy Tellez does not hit for average, but he hits for a double-figure amount of bombs. Julio Rodriguez or a Polanco have done a nice job being able to find a way on as well. And for Joe Ryan, he's been rock solid this year. 3.06 ERA. He's giving up less than 1.3 home runs per 9 innings, 10 strikeouts to 2 walks per 9, but I do think that bullpen really costs you for the Minnesota Twins. And for George Kirby, after 2 rough starts coming off the injured list, 2 runs or fewer allowed in 3 of his last 4 starts, with the lone exception being when he was in that series against the Chicago Cubs. Wind was blowing way out. It was about 1 billion degrees in Wrigley that day. That's completely forgivable. I just completely toss that out the window. I think that George Kirby gets the job done here. I felt like the Mariners should be the favorite. I like them on the money line, and I do like that total over as well. I'm liking this one as well, as we've got ourselves a bunch in the Boston Red Sox going on the road facing off against the LA Angels. You say Kikuchi, I say he's starting for the Angels, and Richard Fitz goes for the Red Sox, and the Red Sox do find themselves as an underdog right around about a plus 110 or so. Total on this game is 9, and I really do like the under. For Richard Fitz, it's been touch and go for him. He spent some time on the injured list. They actually sent him down to the minor league level for a little bit of time, but he goes up against an all-or-nothing LA Angels team. For the Angels, they are second in the big leagues in terms of home runs on a per-at-bat basis. They're also second worst in terms of on-base percentage. Look no further than someone like a Taylor Ward. 19 home runs this season. Also a sub 275 on base. Logan O'Hoppe. Oh, I'm happy that he's giving you 15 plus home runs this year. Not so happy that he's giving you a sub 270 on base. Even Mike Trout is hitting less than a 240 for this unit. Meanwhile, for the Boston Red Sox, yes, you do trade away Rafael Devers, but this has been a rock solid bullpen that even though the game went into extra innings on Tuesday, they had Garrett Crochet go 7 strong innings. You had Tyler Anderson not be able to complete 5. So that means more bullpen usage for an Angels team that has been brutal with their bullpen. They're in the bottom 5 of the big leagues in terms of bullpen ERA. Other than Hunter Strickland, among guys that have seen at least 7 innings this year, 0 of them with a sub 4 ERA. So I am all aboard the Boston Red Sox on the money line. Yusei Kikuchi, 43 walks. That actually leads the American League. So I think that he gets knocked out of this game early. I like the under, and I do like the Boston Red Sox on the money line. And if you